enemy, the past, it threatens the fastest weapon. You wouldn't make it past a second, and that's the question. Play it brash and reckless, or choose a cautious solution you thought was prudent. In any sepulcher, pulchritude will become the putrid. It's that wealth that I'm pursuing. No mountain too steep or dungeon too deep to send expendable marks up to the top of the peak or beneath. They see you bleed, they come like sharks to it, while I swim in that money bin like Carl Barks drew it. So send your national parks druid, I'll send him home in a natural box with a closed top and most of the parts included. Save your breath for a cleric confessor. Death is a lesson and life is a tenured professor. But if you're seeking my official advice, sign on the dotted line, initial it twice.
What?
I am Tycho Brahe of Penny Arcade and PAX. I am also your internet friend, Jerford K. Horcrims. Who else am I?
A minute of his hair were drawn.
Oh, a minute of his hair were drawn, CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated, but today I'm Jerford K. Horcrims, and I'm here to run a game of Dungeons & Dragons for my friends, hopefully before Alyssa destroys the main television. That would be a treat. Friends like who, you may ask? Well, I'm only too glad to tell you.
Well, it's because she's spraying her venom all over the wires.
Well, she saw the movie Venom, and she internalized it.
Oh.
To my right, Dragonborn Narcissist Donaar Blitzen.
Just a classic round of applause.
Good-looking guy.
To the right of my right, repping the natural world, Walnut on grass, qouccw!
It's me. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, I saw the hand and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Garbage.
No, it's got a whoosh. I picture it as having like the anime like sound like when the sword comes out, it's like whoosh.
That's very good.
Or like it's too close up in the frame, so you can't see it. It's just like, you know what I mean?
And then and then like the panther eye, like that's really good. To my left, not your grandma's grandma, except in those rare cases where it turns out she is your grandma's grandma.
Yep.
Rosie Beasting.
Oh.
Whoa.
Wait.
What?
See if I can remember it. Acquisitions Incorporated.
I was thinking about that last week.
Is this how one does it on the streets? Like what?
You don't
Yeah,
remember
this is
this?
AI, baby.
It's too tough for me. I'm just gonna do
Something
it.
Amy was like,
Yeah, why not?
no.
I feel like there's opportunity for abuse there.
If I'm at my parents' house, this is what I do. I don't do the dirty one.
The filthy, nasty one.
Get the full effect.
To the left
It's silent.
of my left, emerging as though from a mist shroud. Cthulhu Drow.
Oh. Look at all these.
There he is. Nice. It's like the robot from the NES Entertainment System. You can take
Rob?
those, yeah, Rob. You can take those imaginary objects and interact with him. Now
You're Rob?
he is. When last we saw our heroes, actually very very quickly. So at the very very top
Good boy.
of today's adventure, two things to note. First of all, between last episode and this episode, anyone who has kicked over 5K bits cumulative will receive from our own Donaar Blitzen a laminated menu for the Yum Yum Hut.
Were they not
laminated?
No, I don't know. Yeah, sure.
You'd better fucking
You're like, I've never seen him before.
I don't recall agreeing to this.
consider lamination. I will kick in for laminate, for professional lamination duties.
Lamination station.
Exactly.
5K across the board, both last episode or this episode.
Yeah.
We'll go through the whole list.
Indeed. You will be rewarded. Now, the other thing we have is a cool toy that you might find very delightful. There's a few games out there utilizing them on Twitch, but we have recently received authorization from Twitch High Command. So if you look down at the very bottom of the screen, if you mouse over and see that robust bee down there, yes, ooh is exactly right. If you mouse over that and then you see the menu over on the right, you can see the character sheets updating in real time,
Just like we
in
said.
terms of the HP.
What if I go to 1 hit point? Are they going to be able to see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you will.
They'll feel real fear.
Where is it?
You'll be so close to death.
Does anybody? Did it work?
It might not be on mobile.
Oh, is it not on mobile?
Just desktop.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Their overlay, like their plug-in thing is.
Wow.
Can I set my hit points to 69? I'm gonna do it.
I did 99 because again, I don't want to be.
No,
dirty
it
about
maxes
it.
out at 51.
I did
sucks.
80085.
51 is the new sex number, though.
So this is my life.
My life.
There's a babysitting aspect that really comes to the fore, I think. But in any event, gathered throng, Shadow Council, Mayor Lavers, please you, of course. It's our great pleasure to spend this Wednesday evening with you. When last we saw our heroes, there are a couple things of note that to my mind stand out in a purely cosmological sense. Probably the most standout thing is that Malith, once truly unspeakable in the EPA, was 100% a my elite. Thank you very much, daughter. Was plucked out of the Sangolith altogether.
Next one's going across the
And
table.
exists in a place outside that Amethyst prison, which means we don't 100% know what for Faerûn. One of the last pieces of information, touchstone, is that the last time Malith and Malike, the last time they were together, the world looked very different. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. What else happened? There was a wedding.
We had a particular sorcerer here.
Indeed. Asmodeus, of course, stopped by. Always what you want. Always what you want at a wedding. If you did not like him being there, take it up with the Shadow Council.
If Asmodeus doesn't show up at a wedding, did you really get married?
Yeah. Is it even a party?
I don't think so.
It's like pink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My understanding is that the party exists in a stasis until the arrival of Pink, at which point it's catalyzed.
Is it Kesha? Are you thinking of Kesha right now? The party don't stop till she walk in?
There are a lot of there are a lot of persons that can institute that in a party. So
I think
I'm
he's
not that
thinking
concerned.
about how Pink comes up, so you better get the party started.
Oh, got
like
it,
a
got it,
wrecking
okay.
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Katy Perry.
Yeah, Katy Perry.
Like a
Katy
firework.
like a wrecking ball.
Yep.
Hi.
He stole that.
Oh, I jerried the Jerry. How do you like that?
I don't want to see that gif.
Can we play
No,
D&D?
we absolutely can, but I was just trying to tell everybody what happened.
The most important
But
part.
then, no, the cauldron tipped.
Oh my
Oh
God.
no. So start us off with a scene, Jerry.
Right, just the tip.
Jerry, you have to
damn
cauldron tip your recap.
Urethra.
I
You have
will.
to make it even more obscene.
Set a scene for us, Jerry.
I didn't even know. God damn it.
Hey,
I didn't. Thank
also,
you, Shadow Council, obviously.
Asmodee seems like a nice guy. We've met him twice now. He
Yeah.
made some really good board games, and he's been pretty nice.
He seems like you can work with him, is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Made Rosie kiss that staff, though.
Yeah, no,
Wasn't a fan of
not a
that.
staff, a
You
rod.
know what, we
rod? A
saw
ruby
what
rod.
we wanted to see that had nothing to do with it. I think everybody was just like,
He's been helpful 2 out of 2 so far.
Yeah.
I got 2 data points, and they're both.
What did he do at this wedding? I thought he just showed up.
Yeah,
He
he's
showed up
fighting
and
bad guys.
He was fighting.
He
Yeah.
did. He did. He suggested that he had an investment
Yeah.
He's a nice fella.
of a type.
good
Okay,
fella.
well,
Salt of the
I
earth.
have
You know?
Action Economist, obviously. Thank you at the top of the game.
Action economist.
If you would be so kind.
Bring it, Jerry.
So
Kick this finale off.
I've got some details I can drop in exchange for a cauldron tip. The scene before you is radically altered, perhaps, from the initial experience of the wedding. You can see there are a number of details that do leap out to even the casual observer. For one thing, it has become quite clear that in the base of the cake, Grella has secreted no less than 7 daggers.
Oh.
You don't know if it's a local custom. You don't know if she had an expectation that things may not go 100% according to plan. But this is clearly a practical, pragmatic woman and she made plans for any eventuality.
7 daggers for 7 daughters.
Exactly. Now, Walnut,
Oh shit.
just on the, just sort of around at the nimbus of this social space, you can see Doldroma looking at you with a gaze that can only mean one thing: fresh documentation.
Oh, okay.
And
So you're saying she horny?
well, to a certain extent,
For those formies.
listen, you did your best, and I support you in it.
Okay.
She has, ever so gingerly, as though this is all a part of a ritual, every millimeter of which must be religiously observed. She has produced the document that indicates a marriage has occurred
Okay.
in this grove.
That was fast.
Okay.
And
I have to
and she has, she says, oh, you probably need a signing surface, and she is able to withdraw something like a cutting board, but is expressly designed to provide for a satisfactory signing experience, a luxury signing experience. And you know that she is, you know that in the presentation of this, you know that you are loved by her. And she says, I understand that a lot has happened, but I think that you and I both know what's important here.
I do. I can't do it alone, obviously, as is the custom. I need Brahma.
Oh,
Where's Brahma?
Oh, of course. Brahma is at the up near where Nalayan was sitting. She is sort of holding the loose cords from the hand fasting and considering them fully in what appears to be a moment of complete solitude.
So I want to go up to her and I want to say,
She turns to look
Oh.
at you, and it's just tracks of tears down both cheeks.
what's wrong?
She looks around, and it is you feel like the percentage of battleground to wedding is really more over on the war side.
I say, this isn't what you pictured it being like.
She says, a young girl has dreams, and they try to bring them into the world. I did not expect 4 gods.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal. That's a good list.
We don't. I'm gonna sit down next to her and I'm gonna say,
Doldroma just withdraws.
Yeah. Yeah.
Withdraws.
Okay, great.
Thanks for the twinkle.
It's him again.
I know. I'll get there.
What?
I want to say to her, we don't have to sign anything right now.
She says, but what does it mean if we don't?
We can make.
What if all this happened and then nothing came of it?
I don't think there's nothing that comes of it. I think we can make a promise to find out where this goes.
She tilts her head, and you get a sense of the old, imperious Brahma.
Oh no.
And she says,
Not now.
that sounds a lot like no.
Walnut stiffens up and she says, It's not no. But if this wasn't what you wanted, it can be no right now. It can be yes later. It can be right later.
She says, this can be yes later. Sounds like something a man would say.
What the fuck, bro?
And she finds her way
Whoa.
out into the wedding.
Dang, dude.
Sorsha, you feel Sorsha sort of materialize to your left, and
To the left of the bear.
yeah,
It's still a bear, right? All right. Okay.
and
She likes that.
you can feel the handfuls of hair being gripped, climbing up on your back. Is Krenar, who
I thought this was Sorsha climbing.
no,
Yeah.
no, who appears to believe that she has secured the finest steed conceivable by any young person, and
Yeah.
she's got directions. She
Well-
has directions for you.
Are we? There's still a battle raging. Yes.
No, the battle
Oh,
is
okay.
is wiped completely
Oh, okay.
out.
I thought when you
I
said
mean,
Brahma
did
went
the
into
gods,
the battle.
Did the gods all peace out too, or are they still hanging out?
Yeah. They have flickered out, although it seems clear that they're not completely gone.
Right.
This place was holy this morning at 6, and it hasn't gotten less holy in the intervening period.
Well,
Sorsha is willing to walk along with you wherever you might go.
I mean, I'll stay in bear form then.
and she
you have a
says,
choice?
Well, that's the thing.
Sorsha, so here is the truth. So obviously there's an opportunity here, another merchandise opportunity. They arrive on the show from time to time.
Yeah.
Here is the story with werebears. I mean, the werebear that you met was somewhat outside the norm. That is not normal. What you have discovered in the intervening period is that you have absolute control over it. This isn't like a curse. This is something that you can decide to do at version. Look in the monster manual.
No, I know. I'm just.
I envision it like hulking out, like
Yeah. Well, this is 50% of the party that gets to turn to a cool bear now. God.
like a Bruce Bannery, like not all the time. Yeah.
No. So it's
Team
like
Bearathon over here.
Yeah.
That's us.
Nice, dude.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I twitched.
I might give it to you.
thought-
It's the final episode. No, I won't though. But I appreciate that you thought about it.
You devil!
know.
You devil!
After what just happened, you couldn't give me that.
If
I
not-
have nothing.
If not to high five over being bears, then what? What will do it?
I have
That's what
nothing.
you have to ask
Dude,
yourself.
that's the apex.
Yeah.
That's the apex.
Got him.
Sorsha says, "Is there anything else about you I should know?"
Shake his
You
head.
can't. I think you
He
can
just
talk,
shakes
but you're
his
just
head.
like
Speak.
choosing not to.
Yeah.
It's
You
your
don't have
normal
to.
voice
He hasn't,
just
he
going,
hasn't gotten used to the bear mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because they have that sort of like honky,
just
sort
shakes
of
his
like
head.
horn type.
So Donaar's doing a bear impression. He's like rah 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 rah.
Growl.
She doesn't.
Says the word growl.
She makes precisely zero attempt to stifle her laughter.
It's coming around.
It's happening.
One door
Yeah.
closes, another opens.
Yeah. Sunrise, sunset.
God opens a window.
You know.
Krenar has directed
Oceans, how do they work?
you. Krenar has directed you to the cake.
Oh yeah. I gotta imagine Donaar was already kind of moving in that direction anyway, without it. But now it's in like an excuse, like I'm doing it for the kid.
This is not like, you're not like a mount, you're like public transit. Like, you're going to the
Yeah.
cake, this is where I'm going.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Hop on.
Yeah. Yeah, like the cat bus in Totoro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little bear bus.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Saoirse indicates in a lower tone of voice that there is an acceptable amount of this cake to be consumed, and that any volume of cake over that will be noted.
Well, we were attacking the snack table earlier, too, right? So
This is just the sequel.
back at it.
Well,
yeah.
not as a bear, though.
Not as a bear.
That changes things.
Yeah. Now
changes the man.
we're getting into a lot of like Hulk questions here. Like if I eat a bear-sized portion of cake, but then turn into a smaller dragonborn, does the cake expand? Does it burst out of his stomach?
Yeah.
This is science he's working on right now.
This is Dungeons and Dragons. We can explore concepts like this at the table.
Yeah.
That's a rich narrative.
Or maybe he
experience.
just instantly digests it. So when he shrinks back down, it's still in there, but he just shits it all out, like immediate.
Corollary. Does the Hulk shit in the woods?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if he's alone, does it make a sound?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next thing.
All right. Moving on. All right, we eat cake. I'm a bear and I eat cake.
Act
I'll
two.
roll for it.
Yeah, it's like for Saoirse, it's something like an edible jungle gym. Like with the table having largely been collapsed, her access to the cake has never been greater.
Cronar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to feel like I want to feel like now that everything's calmed down, everyone's like, well, time to eat. And then the giant werebear like boxes everyone out so no one else can access it. And then it just kind of like lets Cronar go crazy and just takes up so much space that no one else is allowed in the thing.
Nice.
Not actively saying get away from here, but just like physically
Clearly
spreading
passing the
out
message,
as
yeah.
wide as possible.
Right.
I like to imagine that you're doing that to prevent like access to other people, but everybody else is like, laying on the ground and they're tending to things and cleaning up and and you're just like,
Stay over there and bleed. Don't eat my food.
yeah. Nobody is angling for the table at all. And you're still like,
So Rosie,
Yeah.
Asmodeus is making himself as welcome as possible.
Oh, he's still here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Great.
the gods left. Okay.
You're speaking with Strix briefly about things. Apparently, the pie business is booming this time of year.
She and I are swapping our favorite pie crust recipes
Exactly.
and techniques.
When Asmodeus appears and addresses both of you with the maximum level of grace and social nicety,
Rosie will say, just a minute. Could you finish that recipe for me, please?
Strix melts. There's a shriek, and Strix melts
Classic.
into rats, and then just makes a break for it.
Well, now I'll never know. What was the secret ingredient? Was it cold butter? Was it warm butter? Do you know?
Butter?
Yes. We're discussing pie crust recipes. How can I help you?
So many ways. What would
Okay.
you recommend?
I try the veal.
Tip your waiter. Right?
Asmodeus says, "You've really gotten yourself into quite a pickle with this
Yes. that-
Shadow Council business."
Rosie's eyes dart around to make sure nobody can overhear this conversation. And she's like, yeah, well, I thought I knew what I was getting myself into, and clearly I did not.
So, do you think you'll kill Omendron, or
Seriously?
should I get a bed ready for him?
I don't think anybody can kill him and drawn, first of all. So
That sounds like a challenge, young lady.
trust me, I'm not foolish enough to challenge you to anything. But no, my plan is not to kill Omendron, but I have no backup plan as yet.
That doesn't sound like you, grandmother.
I mean, the backup plan is to kill Omendron.
And then res them real fast, right? Didn't we come up with that? We're just going to kill everyone and res them all?
Yeah, so we're working on it. I don't think that any deal is unbreakable, so I think that we'll
That's
be clever.
my guiding philosophy.
There's always a loophole in the contract. You know that as well as I do.
In some contracts, to be sure. So what's next?
Well, and Rosie looks over at Brahma, who is not hanging out with Walnut.
No, there is a kind of psychic gulf erected between these two that is palpable. Asmodeus looks back and goes, "Ugh."
Yeah, I'm
While
feeling
Walnut's
that.
doing this, just like head down.
And Rosie's like, what she was about to say was like, well, I'm here. I'm going to fet these happy lovers. But like, she's like, well, what's next? I mean, I suppose we're going to continue on this God-freeing path, as long as you don't have any qualms with that. What do you know about this Sangolith character?
Oh, I may know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Yeah? What's your price? What do you want?
Oh, it's always implicit.
That's the problem. This is that contract loophole thing we keep talking about.
Listen. So I'm going to tell you a small story,
Okay.
and then you are welcome to feel about that story whatever way you deem fit.
Okay.
What would happen if you made a prison smart enough to hold a god? Do you think that prison might get heirs
Oh, certainly.
after a few millennia?
Oof. Some of my children, I give them a scotch of power, a tiny little bit of power. They think they're running the whole show.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. I've met some followers of Zariel. And they're
Here's the concern. If freeing additional inhabitants of the prison is an authentic desire, are you sure you want all those out? What do you know about the rest of them?
listen. If I know you, and I don't, but you know me, and I don't hold much cotton with gods of any sort or stripe. Don't particularly think they're impressive. They've certainly never helped me much, but I am here to help my friends. And they appear to have gods that they care very much about that are trapped inside of this prison.
Let me tell you when a mortal gets in real trouble with people like me. When they know who you are. He just waves at the mass of people interacting. You can sort of see the social groups. It's like a cellular division. You just see the social groups rebuilding and constructing themselves. He says, I don't have any business with any of them. That's what makes them safe. The only thing that God knows when it comes out is who you are. Think about it.
May I flavor that a little bit? As he waves his hand to gesture at the crowd, Cthulhu, who's way far over there, but is looking.
Are you going to come over?
Unless it's explicitly said,
when
then
you,
no.
When
No.
you wave, he stops for a moment. He's still talking to Rosie, but he extends like a single finger up, and you can see the tip of the black nail above. It's just like, one more.
Oh, boy. Rosie says that too. She's like, oh, good. I feel like you have done what you needed to do here, and isn't it time for you to be getting back to your demi-plane of eternal torture or whatever?
Eternal torture.
I mean, that's the rumor.
Listen, it's like this, young lady. This doesn't require very much of my attention. I will stay for a duration of my choosing.
Okay. Just, I don't know. I don't want to ask you for anything because I know where that leads.
Because you're smart.
But if you're gonna fuck with this guy, go easy on him. He's sensitive. He's very gullible. He'll believe anything you tell him.
Asmodeus, as you're both looking over at Cthulhu, and Cthulhu has found a way, as he so often does, to be entirely alone, even when surrounded by people. You see the top teeth of Asmodeus. You can see him just bite his lower lip.
Oh, good. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I mean,
pawing at his own
don't do
pants.
that. Don't do that either.
Batting at him.
Yeah, he's just like,
It's just right in, and then
trying to push it down.
just tug it down, control it.
I was like, I don't. I guess it's up here. She's like, I don't need to see that. Let's just keep it to yourself, pal.
He says, "Oh, well, one last thing.
Oh, good.
Nalane's trouble.
Yeah.
She's trouble. And I would know.
Yeah, you would, but I also don't trust you a lick, a tiny split of a hair. Why? How's she trouble?
In what? Madam, you wound me.
Unlikely.
What interaction have we had where I have not been absolutely frank from beginning to end about what was required?
Remember that thing you said earlier about how when you know a mortal's name, that means they're in danger? I just don't trust. I don't trust you a bit.
I meant the rest of them. He scratches his chin. He says, I know it's Rosie, but I forget the rest.
You've always been a comedian. Tell me what you mean, because my work associate is very fond of her, and I don't want to put her in any additional danger.
Well, look at her.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell that, much like Cthulhu, she doesn't quite know where she fits. She manages to maintain an imperious air, but she's like it's like how a ghost image appears like in an old photograph. Mm-hmm. She's there, but she's not there. He says she doesn't know where she fits in the world, and she might make a hole in it just to have a place to stay.
Okay, yep, that makes sense.
Something to consider.
Okay.
He falls through the ground.
Whoa! It always scares me when he does that. Every time.
There is intense heat. Walnut, you hear chirps.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I incinerate that.
You hear big chirps, mega chirps, chirps of joy, springtime chirps,
Oh.
even here in fall.
Twitter-pated birds.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I hear this chirping coming from?
Just flitting in front of you, Vizier, the Stellar's Jay, and Truth, the Sparrow, are trying to get to you and through each other.
I have
So
no
the
strength
war-
and all weakness.
The war ever rages.
I receive them. I have nothing left in this moment.
So tell me, describe where you are, like, physically, emotionally, like.
Walnut is, she's wounded, and instead of being, I mean, she's sad, but it is with every moment turning into prideful rage.
Ooh.
And she is already at the I won't speak to her until she apologizes stage.
This is so fucking real.
Well, yeah.
It's the real shit. I have been in this I've been here. Ugh. I've been on dude, I've been here on both sides of it, actually. I know exactly what this feel is,
Isn't it
bro.
ironic? So she's sitting on the ground. She has form mother between her legs. She's got her hands on the pommel. She's got her head on her hands. When she hears the birds, she just looks up and waits for them.
Vizier, just sort of like that little pop hop on the ground, like pop hops up to you and says, "On this day, daughter, we will celebrate. On this day, I will allow the mouse to speak." And he extends his wing over.
Who said I used talk with animals?
Oh!
No, I'm joking. I did. Of course.
And
Squawk.
and Vizier on the extended wing just sort of like gently presses Truth into service. And Truth bows as low as a sparrow possibly can and says, "Daughter, on this day I have prepared 5 songs."
And I say, well, you should save all 5 of them because there's no wedding today.
But
Chirp.
no. And then she like jumps back and takes a couple jumps over and looks at the cake and looks at the people and then jumps back to you and says, but there are 5 people here.
We were not joined.
Call back.
But look upon her. And she hops over toward Brahma, and you can see Brahma, who has apparently completely resolved whatever internal emotional struggles she had, and is now moving with grace and aplomb from social group to social group, welcoming and inviting people.
Walnut casts her a glaze for but a moment and says, yes, what?
You are spring and summer. She is fall and winter. Vizier says, yes, well, occasionally a mouse speaks the truth. Who may know what strange system provokes it, but occasionally it is true.
Walnut just says, she just shunned me today, on this day. So, what am I to do?
Truth doesn't know how to handle this. This is too real.
Welcome to a very exclusive club.
A couple backward hops, and then Vizier sees that he is rapidly losing control of this situation. And he says, well, luckily I have the most incredible gift. I selected it earlier today, and despite my better judgment, I reserved it for you.
What gift could that possibly be?
You shall see. I have kept it fresh.
Oh, God.
And then he jumps up from the ground and over to a tree and moves his neck into a crack and then sort of scooches around the trunk on another side. Ha ha! Ha ha ha! I found it! And then he pecks in and he pulls out a plump grub and comes down and lands in front of you and puts the grub on your boot and says,
Eat it.
Walnut looks at it,
I love it.
and
yes, yes.
for some reason, this is the thing that breaks her. And she tears well up in her eyes, and she takes it, and she eats it,
Yay!
and she says with a mouthful of grub, "Thank you." And then she gets up and just kind of half-heartedly walks into the forest away from the people.
Oh, wow.
Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me.
Dude, I guess I eat some grubs.
But she'll move away from the crab. Doesn't want to be, especially with Brahma being so social, doesn't want to be seen.
Can I see this happen?
You can see the walnut?
Yeah, take her.
Almost. Yeah, it seems
her.
like something you would know.
Yeah.
I think that Rosie has that like
Grandma
rear
Nancy.
camera,
Oh yeah.
right?
Eyes in the back. Mm-hmm. But I think it's also like it's Walnut's day, so she might have an eye on something else, but there's
definitely.
always one eye on
That walnut eye.
Yeah. So she would see Walnut take off and would be on her, like Rosie's there. And I think she would probably shadow step to be close, but not right next to you, and then make a bunch of noise in the leaves and the detritus of the forest so that you could hear her walking up behind you. So you weren't surprised.
Just loudly coughing.
Yeah. Like she's a shadow monk. Like she can walk basically on air through the darkness, but she's like shung 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 shung.
You should try to do it, and it doesn't make as much sense as you thought it would. You're like, "God, I'm too good at it."
So I'd start with my mouth, and she'd clear her throat.
Grandmother,
Hi. I couldn't help but notice you took off for some fresh air, and I decided to intrude.
no, just allergies.
Well, that's ridiculous. These trees, though, out here, something else, huh? She's not looking at you. She's looking up, kind of like where you're looking.
Also looking up.
Yeah.
Back in the wedding at the edge of the wood that you managed to escape into, Vizier is looking down at the sparrow and says, "No doubt it was something you said."
Walnut she says, "Oh, grandmother." And you can tell that she's, like, there's some sadness in her voice.
Do you want to talk about it?
I'm just not meant for these kind of things.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
And I don't particularly understand why you are in this position, but you don't deserve to be. And I'm sorry that you're sad today.
I just wish that it hadn't had to have been us in this ritual. If it had been anyone else, it wouldn't have pushed us this far.
Yeah.
If you'd be so kind,
To this point.
there is a voice ping-ponging off of the trees. And you know how there's that portion of the pinball table, often near the top where the bumpers enable a ball?
Is it ping pong or is it pinball?
Pinball.
Come on.
Enables the
over
ball
this.
to move more or less constantly within a certain range. And that's what the audio sounds like from this voice. And the voice says, it's tinged with frost. And it says, if it had been anyone else, who is to say it would have happened? And from the edge of this tree, you can see Malith, her arm around the tree, and as she leaves, her fingers just brush the just brush the edge of the bark, and small birds and creatures have begun to gather in this place.
And I look at Rosie and I say, "Do you see that?"
Do I?
No.
I don't see. I see trees, but that's it.
So I look to Maleth and I just say, "Are you okay now?"
She says, I'm the sovereign of the year's final half. I am reunited with my love. Perfection is hard to come by, but you have found it.
Then that's enough.
And she says, don't you understand the service you have provided? The Enclave was nearly spent. And look what you've accomplished.
I just wish they were here to see it.
Do you know that they are not?
Where are they? They're not here.
She says, it may be that you cannot see them yet. But that is because you are young. And there's no shame in it. Oh, you don't like that?
That's confusing. Walnut just gets frantic. She says, "What do you mean? What do you mean I can't see them because I'm young?" And Rosie can hear me talking.
Oh
right?
yeah, I hear one-sided this conversation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Says, when you were younger than this, your shoes were small and your clothes were small. Why do you think you are done growing?
I don't know what you mean. I want to know what you mean.
You can tell that there's like it's like a matter of translation.
No, I know exactly.
It's like trying to condense
Yeah.
it down. And she extends you a hand.
Oh yeah. I reach out.
So the hand closes around you, perfect shape. And you see her, Rosie, you see her hold her hand out to the right
Yeah.
and then close it around the void.
Right.
And she is leading you deeper into the forest.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go.
I think Rosie at this point would follow, but she'd also be trying to get your attention and be like, Walnut, what is this? Are you okay?
I'm like transfixed.
No answer.
Yeah, no answer.
Yeah.
Oh, Rosie's coming.
There's there is a, the wood is darker in this place.
Okay.
There's the scent of decay, all natural, the natural world, the natural
Sure.
processes.
Is it too dark? Do I need my dark vision?
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
But this is there's a real canopy here. It's not an opening like in the core of the slumber.
And Rosie would look back to see if either Donaar or qouccw was within earshot to like hiss.
You were already at the edge of the party.
Okay.
So this is a novel scenario.
She doesn't have a way to contact you guys then. Okay. Well, then she's coming after Walnut before she vanishes into the forest.
Thank you. That's gracious of you.
Yeah. I'll be the trail of breadcrumbs.
One breadcrumb.
Yep. Just one traveling breadcrumb.
You just lie down there. Like somebody finds me, they'll have some vector.
Yeah, exactly. Just right here, and then just hold a hand out in the direction. Like, that's the spot. Maliki says, or Mela says, "What do you see?" And she's just like directing you out into this wood that is dense. There's just enough room for each tree to be itself.
I see the trees. I see the forest. I see the canopy.
She says, "Open your eyes, daughter." and you see around you an army. And they look on you with deep affection and kindness. And they hold their right arms over their chests. And thank you very much. And she's gone.
Walnut will sink to her knees and just cry.
So there's going to be a lot of crying in this episode.
Just cry. She's alive. Like, what do you
It's a
like?
lot.
What do you want? Like,
I'm not
she
gonna-
just
this
This is
cry.
I'm not gonna fuck with
day
you
of
about
Walnut's
it.
life.
This is exactly
Yeah,
what we
it's
want.
your day.
She's in the middle of like this holy woods. She just like the stuff with Brahma just happened. She just saw this like her god just showed her an army. Like she's gonna just like cry.
When Maleth disappeared, does Walnut still see the army, or have they gone back to being trees?
Now she's simply in that darkening wood.
Okay. All right. As soon as Walnut falls to her knees, Rosie hurries to be by her side and is essentially like searching the nearby area to find whatever fiend has threatened or made you upset in some way. And she's like, she's holding her staff out like she can like find an invisible enemy. But she's got her back is to you, like between whatever ghostly foe may be here. And she says, granddaughter, did they hurt you?
And she squeaks out, no, grandmother. The forest is just more alive than I knew.
Rosie visibly relaxes. And she says, well, we can deal with that, certainly.
Burn it down. Starts lighting matches.
And just like licking the air.
When you did it.
But she would, I think, you sunk into your knees is probably about Rosie height.
Yeah.
So she can like get eye to eye with you and say, what do you need right now?
I just want to go home.
Let's do it. Let's go home. And she'll reach her tiny little hand out to grab yours and then somehow help you up, but it's kind of useless.
Yeah.
You can press her shoulders.
Yeah.
Use her as a little stool.
So, Cathris, you are observing in a purely anthropological sense the nested interactions of these cultures on multiple levels of analysis. And Legati chirps to you, and he says, "Is it every son's dream to burrow into his father?"
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Jeez.
We only have Valentine's Day episodes on this show.
Yicky sticky.
It's like kind of shaken from my meditation. Oh, not every son. Maybe not even most sons. But who's to say? I'm working from a very limited sample size.
He says, "You have one son, and that is what he longs for."
What would it bring you?
Success. On every conceivable axis. This is a silly question, Father.
I was about to ask what axis. Consider, Legati, that this axis could be intrinsic to this plane, to the type of creature that you are. What would it be like for a son not to destroy its father bodily?
I can't imagine that place.
Is he? So he's.
He's rigid, and he's
but
just chirping from the
just
top.
going like this. Okay. So I'll ask. this comes from whatever it was that formed you, whatever it was that made you. I only conjured you, invoked you on this plane. But whatever it was that made you this way, that is a precept of your being. In other words, this is not a directive from the Sanguilith.
Is that a question?
That is a question, yeah. The impulse, yeah.
I do not know. I know that there are 13 selves. Is that not common?
No, not as far as I know. I would love to hear more about at least one of them. How are they demarcated?
And it collapses. The staff just collapses into 13 smaller serpents. Some of whom nip at each other. The others scuttle over and try to seize as much cake as they can. And then others appear to be occupying themselves with philosophical dissertations. And then they fold themselves back up after a few seconds. And it says, how am I to choose which of these selves to be?
We are a lot alike. My partitions are mental. They're thought structures. It can be very difficult to overcome some of these selves.
What are we to do?
I have a great fondness for you, Legati. But I know what I need to do if this relationship should prove harmful to one or the other, to my success or yours. Rest a hand on the, like a reassuring hand, not a threatening hand.
Just a few, well, no. It's just like but it's like the thumb. It's like the thumb just gently brushes over the eyeballs. Like some whatever counts for affection inside this creature's head.
I say, sweet Legati, my work is not yet done. But I believe if you were to end it early, which is not my desire, I'm sure as you know, there are other animals that consume their parents. And as they are being eaten, they may feel a measure of pride, hope for the future, for their children. I would likely feel the same way on some level. But it's not a level I wish to visit.
Not yet.
Father, I will do my best.
That's all any of us can do.
So there's almost no cake left. Most of the snacks and treats wilderness beasts have made off with, or this
Just like fighting wolves for cake.
Yowling
giant bear.
cats and
this ravenous, like, you don't understand. At a certain level, you think that there must be a physics to a young dragonborn princess that allows for the infinite consumption of cake. You are authentically wondering how it's possible at this point.
I feel like Donaar would be eating this cake with her and like proud and admiring, but also like somewhat competitive. It's like,
Yes.
not going to be out eaten by like a little kid.
baby.
Yeah, a little baby is not going to eat more cake than me. I'm just like, oh man, look at her go. But then like kind of knocking her away and then eating it, you know. And she goes and gets another piece and he just like eats all his and then he just kind of like tries to take hers.
Sorsha has
Like in the wild.
Sorsha's begun to. they use the feed that horse symbol. So, Sorsha is elsewhere talking to people she hasn't seen for a while. She gets around pretty solid. It seems like she seems to have strange friends. She seems to know a little bit about almost everyone. It's a specialty. She exists in a sort of like a knowledge specialty industry.
Yeah. I have Clarkmore following her around as a spy.
So subtle.
He's finally getting to be a
He's
spy.
this massive,
Yeah,
this massive elk.
Awesome. Perfect.
Just like trying to listen in.
Oh no, but he doesn't understand the extent to which he's a massive elk.
Yeah.
And so he's just right in the mix, like not at the edge,
Just like a
just
circle
like
of people
walking,
and he's just like in it.
straight behind, like he is basically her hairy celestial wake. But it's very smooth, like he'll look away.
Oh.
Nice. Trained him well. He's a good boy. So we can communicate like telepathically without words. So I just, while eating and competing with a tiny baby dragonborn, I'll just be asking him like, what's going on? Like,
What's she doing now?
yeah, what are you hearing? What are you hearing? Report in.
It seems boring to him. Like it's a lot of very granular information and a lot of linguistic frippery around a very small amount of data.
So nothing really.
No, she's just going from place to place, reestablishing connections. It's clear that she has spent the year doing odd tasks and amassing favors. She's just sort of maintaining, basically like maintaining the fresh relationships.
A stature. Well, once the cake has been exhausted and all the food's been exhausted, then I think Donaar would turn back into Donaar. He would.
Kurnar says, "Aw."
She likes it.
Kind of insulted. Like he gets it, but still, it's like, well, I'm still good. I'm still good.
So she gets as tall as possible, standing up on the remainder of like the increasingly filthy cake hill,
Yeah.
and she just raises her hands up
Yeah.
like this.
He picks her up and just starts like throwing her around, just like in like mock like offense. Like I'm just like, what? This isn't good enough for you? I'm still fun like this. I'm still fun. I'm not a bear.
She says,
Throwing her around.
"When are we going to go back to Scala?"
I don't know. I have to ask your mom.
Well, she doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
I think that we are going to need swords to go back.
Those do seem to be required in most instances in Scala.
I think we're going to need a horse.
Why do you want to go to Scala? Aren't you having fun roaming around? You're having fun in Promise. What do you need Scala for?
Well, a lot of my favorite toys are in Scala.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. That's the ultimate argument. Ugh.
Touche, little baby.
Yeah. There's always more toys. I can get you more toys.
She's like, well,
Got you those cubes.
oh, I know about the cubes. Sometimes they're cubes. They're not always cubes. I can change them.
I saw.
And she says, do Do you think you will come back to live in Scala?
I don't know. That's something, again, we have to talk to your mom
Scala's
about.
the best, better than stupid Donaar.
I hit her. No. How dare you? I go, I'm going to argue with a baby.
She says,
You've never even been in Donaar. How do you know?
it's not good. I heard about it.
Yeah, and maybe it's not that great right now, but it used to be okay. When I was there, it was great.
She says, does everyone have a tail?
Not everyone, but
She's like, who has the... Do you have to fight to get the tails?
yeah,
Is there one tail and everyone shares the tail?
kind of. Everyone everyone who's in charge there has a tail.
Really? She says, do you have any sisters?
I do.
Do they have tails?
They do. Everyone in my family has a tail.
Are their tails bigger than your tail?
They're about the same size.
Are they strong tails?
They're strong enough, and then I pick her up with my tail. Strong enough to pick up a little 20 questions baby over here. You writing a biography? She just starts lifting her and talking.
Yeah, she is just hanging on it upside down while the tail is sweeping around. And while this is happening, there is you feel like a flash of a momentary flash of heat, and you can see a red robed, immaculate gentleman standing near you, looking at the party with you, basically. And he says, "Hello, Varus."
I say, nope, Donaar. My name is Donaar.
And a werebear also? At a certain point, it becomes ridiculous, doesn't it?
It's talent, baby. Can't teach it.
Can't teach it, but can't really access it either, though.
Yeah, that has been a problem.
Now, I could teach you.
Yeah,
But I'd have to tell.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
really.
Yeah.
That's something you'd be interested in. Now, obviously,
Yes.
there is there would be a price, of course.
Well,
But for access to this power,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
excellent.
Is Rosie anywhere near this?
No, you're deep in the woods.
You can only keep track of so many children.
Yeah.
Also, still further away, Cathris, I'm looking at this exchange too far away to hear, and it's just like, what do I gotta do? It's just,
Trying to make meaningful eye contact.
yeah.
How do I connect with this fellow? And Asmodeus says, these are lessons. It won't be immediate by any means. Let me consider how best to charge for these lessons, really.
Yeah. Donaar just says, please, sir, whatever it takes, I'll do anything.
Ryan is trolling Kate now.
I like that Donaar kind of hasn't put it together fully.
No. He's just like, that's the thing I want.
This guy's great.
This guy's going to give me the thing I want.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking.
Very
Yeah.
Donaar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He says, this is really this is just the missing piece. Once you had full, unfettered access to this well of ancient draconic might, Donaar one day, Scala the next. I mean, very straightforward. Leave the weak open,
Yeah.
seize the spine of the world.
Dear, I'm picking up what you're putting down, my friend. You're a good guy.
The first good guy I've met.
You're a true friend.
As,
And I'm just looking at Cthulhu in the distance.
My only true
You're my
friend.
only true friend.
Asmodeus says, obviously, we need to get some of this in writing. I do have the...
I'd insist. Just trying to act like a big boy. Oh, yeah,
do
we
have-
must have...
Rosie feels herself compelled to walk faster through the woods. That's my role play.
He says, I'll stop by the Drawing Courtier.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Some of the fun.
We all live there.
Really interesting.
Just come by whenever.
Absolutely. I may not look as I look now, but
All right. Well, how will I know?
rest assured, you will know. Now, I think this is going to be a very, very productive winter.
I think so, too. I'm excited about this.
Grandmother? You stride past. Oh,
There she goes.
okay.
He takes his leave in his customary fashion.
Just go, whoop. Oh, all right.
Whoa.
All right. Okay.
At that, I'll follow. Yeah, I see that. I'll come over after you. Yeah, but you'll get there before me.
Yeah, I didn't get there in time though.
Yeah,
What was that?
yeah.
Our friend, nice guy, red guy.
Okay. What did you agree to? Tell me everything.
I didn't agree to anything. We were just talking about he's gonna give me lessons.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? He's
So I don't what?
he's gonna
Is he not a friend of ours?
he's the Lord of Hell.
Okay. Every interaction with him has been fine so far. He helped us out in that jam.
You never heard any stories about Asmodeus growing up?
I
Did he
don't
give you-
trust other people. That's fake news. I believe what I see. Met him twice. He's been great twice.
Did you read anything? And what were the terms? How reasonable was he?
Incredibly reasonable. He said I could have everything I want.
In exchange for
I don't know. We didn't get
did he
into
say?
it. We didn't. Nothing. Nothing.
He didn't say he was gonna charge you.
Everyone's always telling me I can't have candy. He came by saying I can have candy.
That should make you suspicious, Donaar.
But I like candy. Candy in this is
The deal was literally candy?
no.
What a terrible.
No. Rosie's just pissed.
You ate
no!
everything at the table.
It's not candy, Kazris.
And it wasn't enough. It's never enough.
Did you
Look.
sign anything?
No, look, he just said he's gonna come by where we live and give me lessons on accessing, my inner strength.
Walnut asked you a question. Did you sign anything?
No, I didn't sign anything.
Okay.
Well, then
I just
it's
gave him
fine.
our address. Told him to come by whenever. Told him
like
he's
he-
allowed to come in. He doesn't have to knock or ask to come in.
He'd probably figure out our address pretty readily.
He knows the address.
Yeah, I assume.
Okay. Please don't sign anything. Walnut, you're on documents or guard duty. You see any documents coming in and out of this boy's hands from anybody? Doesn't matter if it looked like that red boy. If there's anything coming in and out of his hands, you stop it.
I
So
honestly,
that's standard protocol.
Yep.
I feel like you guys
As usual.
are taking this molehill and turning it into a mountain. This is
Can I tell you a story?
yes, please. He sits down.
She does too.
Yeah.
And she looks at Walnut and Cthulhu and she says that this is a story that is true. And this is a story that happened to me. And I need you to pay very close attention to it because perhaps I have not given you the kind of gravity that you need to approach creatures like Asmodeus with. Perhaps I've been a little too blasé when he's been around, but once upon a time.
Now he's in.
So
She knew she could get
dialed
his
in.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Once upon a time, a young, foolish halfling girl made a deal in exchange for power, in exchange for money, in exchange for friends. And that deal was made not with Asmodeus himself, but with his representatives, with his associates, working under his name. And as soon as that contract was signed, Donaar, listen to me. As soon as that contract was signed, my life as I knew it was over. Do not sign anything that man gives you. Anything.
She's the girl in the story.
The girl in the story was me.
What?
Yeah. Twist. I shall know on you.
But worse life, better life.
Signs.
Because the story is being told with sort of a cautionary air.
Yes.
But I'm still, what I'm hearing is what I want to have happen.
Yeah, I'm picking up that he's got bad employees. The problem was you didn't go right to him because he seems like he's on the up and up.
He's worse.
Maybe he's got just bad. If he's got any failing, maybe it's management. Maybe his employees beneath him.
Do you know what happens when you're a bad employee who works for Asmodeus? He causes you not to exist anymore instantly. That's not like he could just do that to you anytime he wants to, and he loves it. He loves it. It's a game to him. Do not enter into a arrangement. We can find another way for you to get whatever candy it is that you want, but please don't do it through Asmodeus.
I won't sign anything.
Thank you.
But we're still gonna be friends.
Okay. As long as there is no contract of any kind that is entered into psychically, emotionally on this plane or any other.
That's what you sound like. You're trying to get me in a contract.
I am.
I was just told I shouldn't do that.
Only with Asmodeus.
Ipso facto.
You just said you're in line with his cronies.
Quid pro quo. Yeah, you just said you're in line with him. Now I don't know who to believe.
Rosie storms off. Idiots. Tiny little feet. Real loud.
So we're gonna do our break. We're just gonna go to the break zone. I'll be your host. Johnny Breaksman.
Show within a show.
Yeah, exactly. This is where the first parenthesis begins.
Break.
Mayor Labors, please you. Shadow Council. We will see you again very shortly after the break. Godspeed. Hello. I'm Jeffrey K. Horcrims, and this is Test C Teams. In fact, it is the finale of season 2 of the C Team. I know it seems like multiple seasons have occurred. Lord knows there's been more than one arc. It's a trilogy.
It is?
Yes. If you would be so kind.
Go.
Let's get this train rolling.
Yeah.
I get dizzy.
We're gonna be here till midnight with these cauldrons.
Yeah.
Nilayan's voice.
Pour it on!
Behind you.
Pour it on! Yes?
Nilayan's
What could she
voice
possibly have to say?
behind you. She says, "Daughter, we would speak."
And Walnut, whose resolve has hardened significantly since last we saw her, says, yes, Grovekeeper.
She says, "Why would Ma Elite act with deference toward you?"
That I do not know.
Don't toy with me, girl. And you can see now this is a different face. You suspect this might have been the face that you know for a fact, this is the face her enemies saw
Yeah.
deep below the surface.
I say, I helped free her, that's all I know.
I performed the ceremony.
Oh, she's jealous. She's definitely jealous.
And you can see, and it's like there is shaking, but not with fear or nervousness. Like you can tell that there is an anger in her that has no appropriate, it has no expression in a society. And you can note maybe for the first time, the headdress that rests along the top of her brow, it is decorated throughout, all the way back, with Nemazir seeds.
Oh.
I mean, she has
An arsenal.
her raiment, the holy raiment that she took on to perform this ritual, could tear the surface of the planet off and throw it into the space between the spheres.
She's wearing a bomb.
Yeah.
She's
so,
wearing 12 bombs.
seeing that,
Bandolier bombs.
I say, there was a time where I was a vessel for Eliki. Perhaps she saw that.
And she says, and is that essence completely gone?
Oh, of course.
You know that it's not.
Okay.
But that's the right line.
Right. I'm terrified of this. The Grove Keeper.
And she says, good. And she puts her hand on the side of your cheek and then uses her thumb to lift the corner of your lip and look at your teeth. And she says, so young. So young. And she turns and walks away. Thank you.
Turns out
Don't worry, I got 2 more cauldron tips. I'm going to be fucking with you for the next hour.
Great. Turns out our ancient war chieftain isn't all sunshine and
Not great.
I think
smiles.
we kind of got tipped off to that pretty early. I mean,
No, she's never done anything.
Yeah, a lot like Asmodeus. She's never done anything wrong by us.
she killed your friends in front of you.
Yeah, you guys are fine. You're fine.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Okay.
Asmodeus never killed any of my friends in front of me.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, not yet.
The lion brought you back.
Yeah.
I don't recall any of that.
There are
I wasn't there for that. All I know is I was alive again. I don't know who you say what had happened. I remember getting killed.
You might have brought yourself back.
I remember it every night in my dreams.
Yeah.
My nightmares. All
Oh,
right.
man. Okay, so let's see. Who am I going to fuck with now?
Where are we right now? Like, what's the condition of the wedding party?
So,
Everyone was lecturing me for a minute, and then the land pulled
no,
Walnut
no,
away.
so now people, without any sort of central planning apparatus, people have begun to gather up the event and begin to deposit it on carts. Grella has come and tisked a couple times at her broken table, but most of the cake was consumed, so the calculation in her mind seems like things have turned out more or less her way. The flash of heat accompanies the longed for
Touch of heat.
interaction. Yeah, it's caliente.
Yeah, when it happens, Cthulhu goes, "Wow, that's great." Just like a genuine.
This ought to be rich.
So wait, are you? Where is this in relation to us? Are you there? Are you
we-
immediately on him?
We were all in a cluster.
Okay, so he's just in the middle of us again.
Yeah.
Hey.
He says, Mr. Traub, do you have a moment?
I certainly. But I do though.
In a second, you are outside the event in its entirety and out near the cart itself. And Asmodeus is going end to end around Coriander and just clicking his tongue.
Don't you touch her.
And he looks back and he says, "Quite the appetite."
She's interesting.
Oh, to be sure. To be sure.
Yeah, you are a god.
He runs the tip of his finger along this massive blade that has projected around the back, and then he brings his finger forward, and it's cut.
Oh, okay.
He says,
Ooh-wee. This goes to my question.
"Mud bugs." Yeah.
You are a god.
Well, God. Certainly someone of note, someone who enters the stories of others, generally for the better. Cthulhu Draub, if I may call you such, I am the only
It is my
honest
name.
person you will ever meet. And that's because I can be. It's because I have the power to be authentic in my speech and action.
It is a high claim. But
Test it.
how many fingers am I holding up? I'm just kidding. You proposed this, but there's no way I can test you accurately. But I have no choice than to accept it.
See, I'm good at my job.
What?
You've got problems, Mr. Draub. Big problems.
I'm in the service of a purported god.
Again, the term lacks descriptive power.
Yes, it's frustrating. Is it a threat to you, the Sangolith?
Oh, to be consumed thus? Imprisoned for millennia? Please. I'm a little afraid of it. but not so much. Not so much that friends like yourself, for example, could be able to offer a service. Help me out here. You help me out with this, I help you out with something. I'm sure you want something. It might take you 300 years to figure out what it is, but I'm sure you want something, and I can wait.
You hear the words of Rosie Beeston echoing in your head from not 2 minutes hence.
Was what? Don't sign anything?
Yeah.
So I say what I want is the destruction of the Sangolith and to free my patron.
I really think that would be safest for everyone.
Agreed. What you seem to want is the same.
Oh,
Why
absolutely.
would there be an exchange here?
An exchange of information. In exchange for information, we can wait for everything in the universe to cool and slow. All of our plans would be realized then. We want an opportunity to have the satisfaction of a job well done. And that means timelines. It means timelines.
I feel like I learned a lot about the effects of mortal impatience lately. And
Now tell me more. You are touching a rich nerve here, Mr. Draub.
it cost me a lot.
How so?
Well, I got myself into this pact with the Sangolith and then erased my own memory.
Can you give me an insight check?
Yeah. I'll take advantage.
Hey!
Did you
another
really
4.
fucking roll a 4?
He rolled a 4. See if you can get
Is
another one.
that true?
That's a
Yeah, it's a real 4. Womp, 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 womp.
14.
14.
That's a 1 and a 4.
What's your insight on top of that?
One more
Oh,
4.
that's a +1, so 15.
That is just
Oh, wait, I'm
enough.
so sorry. That's
you wanna bump it?
intelligence. Hold on a second.
listen
It's a
to you, so
+0.
You know what? Let's womp it.
Yeah.
Womp, 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 womp.
Ask
council.
your server to womp it
Mayor Labors, please you.
Friend.
for $2 more.
Yes, we have this Elderwood deck box for your deck.
Stuff your deck in it.
For your
Yeah.
deck, for all of your deck needs.
Yeah.
They'll take all.
Big deck
Oh,
energy.
one deck.
Big deck energy.
Now, as you are relating this tale, sort of moment by moment, you get the impression that he's heard it before. Like he's just waiting for the physical aspect of this to come to its conclusion.
His turn to talk.
Well, then as soon as I start to relate it and I identify that, I say, well, you've heard this before.
Well,
Or have known it.
don't like to be rude, but I have a certain interest and investment in the person of qouccw. I hope that's not surprising in a bad way.
No.
There's just an overlap. There's an overlap here.
I accept that. Another question.
Please.
I won't be signing anything, but why is it required?
What, to sign?
Yes. Why would the agreement require a formal construct?
Oh, do you not like it?
I don't see it.
Do you not like the act of signing?
I don't understand why it needs to happen. Why can you not just take?
Oh, you mean me personally?
Yes.
Oh,
We know why mortals require it. So they can look back at it and say, this is what you said back then.
well, I was going to say. It's like this. When I was a very young devil,
qouccw does not laugh. He's like, oh, life cycle.
I found myself ill-used by others. Can you relate?
I suspect that was engineered for that effect, but yes.
That is when I developed this unique capacity of mine. Now, it's a type of magic, isn't it? Everyone gathered around a document. There's something special about it.
Walnut.
He has no business for me, but I agree with everything he's saying.
Here's what you need to understand about mortals. When they sign something, they think they understand it. It's a profundity I've never quite been able to get my head around. They think that because they have done something, it's important.
It creates ownership for them.
Who knows what it is? He runs his hand along Coriander. And he says, "You're not done, are you? What's next for you?" And he cuts his finger on the blade again. On purpose this time.
Yeah.
He said, "That really is something.
The pain?
All of it. It's been a very long time."
Do not have sex with him.
There's a cart available for our sex if you want. The thumb gets cut on the. Enough said. I'm ready.
Fully erect.
If you would be so kind.
Blood sports.
That's right. I run my hand along the other blade.
Yes.
Blood
Says-
play.
Slick blood play.
What about this blood? You like this blood? How about this blood?
Watch me go.
He says, I don't think we will require a contract in the classic sense. I think that you and I can be quite satisfied with a verbal understanding. The only question really is if you would like to be something like the Singwillith. Where do you see yourself in 1,000 years?
I don't know. I think that
What's the end game for
the house would
Cathedral?
probably be paid off by then, and
Student loans are all
Yeah.
gone finally.
so I'd see my monthly, my take home would go up.
Think of it like a kind of test. When you are finished with the Singwillith, will it be sufficient for you to know the Will that be enough?
Now that is something I had not considered.
Great.
To contain the entirety of a thing, as the Sangolith does currently, is it not then defined as that thing? If I were to know everything it is possible to know of the is that not the same as me being equal to, identical to, on some level? If I know it entirely, could I not predict its behavior? That is fascinating.
And he gestures at your flesh and he says, not with this.
Oh,
Mr. Draub, this is the limitation.
This would be the first thing to go.
You're gonna have to get past all of this.
I've been past it. 300 years now. I'm over it.
That's the problem is that if without this, I have nowhere else to be.
I have no other suits.
Where would I put my various foods?
Where would I put my ideas?
Oh, do you spit? Kate, you can't spit. Because it wasn't Rosie spitting, okay? If you spit on my table.
Rosie doesn't spit.
Rosie never
Rosie,
spit.
no.
Oh,
I am not ready to engage with that.
I'm gonna mentally pretend that that's blood from the sword on Coriander's back.
He says, Mr. Draub, when you're ready, and you're not, but when you're ready, we'll have this conversation again.
I understand you know where we live.
He fishes out from inside of his coat. He fishes out a wand, a slender, spiky black wand. Looks like it's drawn from a bramble of some kind. Mm-hmm. And then he holds it out for Coriander to eat.
Oh.
And Coriander will not eat it.
Good girl. Good girl.
He looks back at you and he says, smart horse. And then he is gone. Thank you so much.
The compliment there was that he called her a horse, I think.
Yeah.
She's been barely a horse for 2 years.
She was barely a horse.
She was
Now
horse,
she's
horse adjacent.
she was less of a horse than she was a horse.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, there was almost no horse there.
Before we leave this scene, I assume,
Yeah.
unless everybody's come back this way, I collect what little blood there is on the back of that sword.
Ooh.
I imagine it's not a lot. A couple drops, maybe.
A little dabble do ya?
A little devil, do you?
Like a quart. Just spilling over Coriander. So much blood.
Yeah, he was like,
It's
wow,
okay.
interesting.
Like an episode of Dexter. It's just
So, as I said before, everyone is gathering their things together. It has Brahma has really turned the party around. Everywhere she goes, she is a delight. And you can hear the sound of her playing the lute as she walks and travels through. You can see that Doldroma stops her at one point, and she signs the marriage document with a plum, with a massive flourish signature. And it's just everywhere you can hear the sound of the lute just filling the grove.
When I see her do that, I want to walk up to her.
She says,
She's signing the document?
yeah.
I would go, what are you doing?
Are you there with Doldroma?
No, I'm gonna walk up when I see her with Doldroma signing the document. I walk up to her, and I say, "What are you doing?"
And she's like, Doldroma's coming for you next.
And I say, "Why are you signing this? Well, what about what just happened?"
Well, after what just happened, people usually sign this document.
But I thought you
And
didn't.
she like gently punches Doldroma high on the arm.
Walnut goes, "I'm very confused. You've confused me. I was under the impression that this is not what you want right now."
I was under the impression this is not what you want right now. And Doldroma just
Again,
like her limbs become crisp and drawn in.
I think Rosie would see this happen and come up to Doldroma, touch her on the back, and be like, "Could you? I've just got a question. Could you tell me about your favorite types of parchment?" And she like leads her away from this situation.
And she says, well, Fen was telling me about a type of parchment. She says that it is more real, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I wonder what it could be.
I
It's
don't-
very interesting.
Well, let's ask her.
Let's do.
Walnut says, "What I said was, if this event wasn't what you had pictured, we could wait and we could do it again, for real, in a way that you wanted. This was so much about a favor to me. I didn't take into account anything about what you wanted. We could do it again. That's what I was saying."
She says, you can sign this whenever you want. Here's what I think. I think you're not going to. And I think you weren't going to. And I think you didn't mean to.
Walnut, oh my God. Walnut goes, she goes, "Of course I was going to sign it. But now I don't know."
What's this look?
I feel like I need to leave the table.
Y'all are scary.
I was gonna.
I mean,
Chicken.
No, I know what you mean.
no, but it's like now she feels like, she's feeling
Now
like
she has to fight
This is
it.
being goaded into it.
yeah, she's being goaded into it. That's
won't?
like that. Brahma's like she feels like Brahma's trying to incite her to do it. And Walnut says, "Do you truly mean I can wait till I'm ready?"
I think that I'll be waiting a long time for you to be ready.
I think
And that's fine.
something changed in you. And I don't know if I like it. I'll leave it at that for right now, but I'll take the form.
Okay, this is awesome. Okay. Oh, God. Who would torment next?
Who next?
Don't know who it could be.
Oh,
You know, Donaar hasn't had any torment.
why not you? Donaar's having a great time. Here.
Making friends.
You're right. There was no torment there at all.
Yeah.
It's exactly what everybody
Been
wanted.
tormenting me this whole game.
Yep, if you'd be so kind. So, no.
I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it can't possibly be. Not back to back.
The birds show up. I murder.
Yeah.
These birds is crazy.
They got rings in their beaks.
Yeah. It's like, no, we're married. You gotta get married too. All right, so Rosie, Grella is trying to pick up the split ass middle of her table. And she says, Can you help me with this, Rosie?
Sure. Oh, Katsura has mending. We can just get this fixed up for you real quick.
Oh?
Yeah, I'll get him.
Oh, great.
Sure.
Garçon.
Have the boy.
She waves you over.
Yes. I just talked to the devil.
We can talk about this later. Can you please fix this table?
Oh yeah. If it's a
We
foot
don't-
long.
We don't need to have a philosophical conversation about the table or its contents or why
what-
it exists.
what
Why do we
is a
even have a
table?
table? Who brought the table? Do we really?
You know, talking to a god has really opened my eyes on a lot of things. Like, what is a table? Essentially, what are we asking an object to do when we request that it be a table?
What limitations are we placing on the table?
Yeah.
And what does the table ask of us?
It's like 45 minutes later.
Still speaking,
like,
you say, still speaking loudly as I take 1 foot at a time and I'm mending it, and assuming that you're still back there listening.
Okay, but I'm definitely not.
Maybe not the case.
So
take care of it.
so a lot of the conversation is happening with the table.
Oh, yeah.
On his part. And
We don't need to be present for this. Don't worry.
and Grella is she is like adjusting her pack, and you can hear like the rustle of the metal instruments that she has in there. And she says, "So what's going on with these two?"
Oh, I think it's the stress of the wedding day. You've done weddings before.
Oh,
You've seen this.
well,
Bridezillas.
yes.
You know.
Say no more.
She's not saying you are. She's just saying that's
Said
what happens.
Bridezilla's plural.
Braun is so bad. She's
She's two Bridezillas in one.
bad. It's two of them.
So
Yeah, I don't know the details yet, but you know, I wasn't a big fan of this wedding anyway, so.
yeah, I mean, it's, you know, if Omen had come here, I thought for sure he would have come. I mean, that's the information that we have, is that he takes a special interest in Walnut Dawngrass for whatever reason.
We invited him.
Our expectation was that you would have taken this opportunity to kill Omendron.
I see.
Grella, no.
You couldn't have sent him an extra letter telling him how important it was, or maybe for whatever reason. I mean, I can't imagine this happening, but imagine you telling him about the order. That would explain some of the protuberances in the rest of our information. There's an empty space where events should have meshed, and it's vaguely rosy shaped. Is any of this coming across?
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Nowhere in the order did it say that I was not allowed to tell him that my job was to assassinate him.
Do you think that purely as a professional courtesy, you just communicated with the target directly about the work you were to undertake? Does that seem especially shadow counsel to you?
It seems like a sporting chance.
That's not our business.
No. I
We
suppose
cinch
this-
the noose.
Well, what do you want, Grella? What
We
do you
know
want?
what we want.
He's not here. I can't kill him
Yeah,
now.
because of you. Exactly, right?
Trust me, Omendron is not afraid of me.
Trust me, the person we send after you won't fucking tell you.
Come. I'm ready. Anytime you are.
Is that where we've gotten to?
I will
We can be there.
settle my debt. And you know I will. And that's all I am ready to say right now.
Safe travels.
You too, sweetheart. The cake was very dry, by the way.
Of course it was.
Oh, what a bitch.
Wow.
You gotta not make it so far ahead in advance. Dries right out.
It was a big cake.
Full of poison.
There were knives in it.
Yeah. Poison does that to a cake.
It's dry. It's not a good bake. You know what I mean?
It's
Not a good
Thank you.
bake.
Cloying.
It's cloying. It's a cloying bake.
Bad crumb.
Bad crumb. And look at this. Raw.
Roll.
Roll.
It's just right in.
Mary Berry, where are you now?
She folds up the table. Thank you, Cthulhu. See you last Stone's Day.
Not if I see you first.
God, I was about to say that. So what if we both say it at the same time?
Yes.
Because I was listening.
Rosie would be very sinister in her delivery, and you would be super sincere.
Genuine.
Yeah.
I see. No, it's out of defense of, because I'm assuming, was I able to overhear that conversation that was going on, or was
You were lecturing about the table.
I was lecturing, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Then in that case, that's the read. Mine's genuine. But if I see it first.
Everyone is beginning to gather together in the groups that they came in. They've begun to filter out. There's many congratulations.
And I go, for what?
Big hugs.
Oh.
Oh, right. Oh, Walnut.
Walnut is stiff as a board every time someone tries to hug her. She does these.
Yeah. Just rigid.
So you have a half-signed marriage certificate?
Yeah.
Okay. But
Oh my God.
does everyone know?
My real life.
Just like real life, yes.
Dude, art imitates life.
And no one knows.
No one knows.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah. Right now it's personal.
This time.
Yeah. Sorsha comes over on her way out. She has Krenar up on her shoulder. And she says, I think you're fine the way you are.
Thank you.
Not every sword has a pair. And she walks out. She pats your shoulder, Donaar, with a duration that seems meaningful or would be interpreted as meaningful to a person who perceived things.
Not every sword has a pair, but this one does.
Yeah. What pair of swords? Someone said
Pair of swords right in there, right downtown.
Oh, these?
Oh yeah, he's been naked the whole time. I forgot to mention that. Because when he turned into a bear, his armor ripped off, so he's been nude. Sorry, the whole game. I forgot.
They're just hanging down.
Yeah.
In my most holy grove.
Yeah. Just.
Natural.
You know, actually, that
Yes,
would
fertility.
that would honor the goddesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's offered sky clad.
Yeah,
It's about the fertility.
true. Thank you.
You get it.
Donaar gets it.
We didn't know.
And the rest of you.
Yeah. Heathens.
Clothes.
We could,
Shocked.
we could start taking
No.
Too
It's too
late.
late. It's an empty gesture.
I insist.
You can see Coriander is back there snuffling and pawing at the ground at the head of the cart.
This is an unusual pawing and snuffling.
No, she does this all the time.
Okay, then Rosie come and boop on the snoot, give that a little pat, tell her a quick version of the wedding. She'll get the long details on the road.
There's going to be extra time.
Yeah. And does Rosie notice any blood on the blades
No,
or anything?
no,
Okay.
it's not like that. And even then, it doesn't look like blood anyway.
Okay.
You probably just think she needed a good wash, which is
Okay.
probably common anyway.
And she asks her usual rhetorical question at the end, which was, "How were you?"
Were you bled on?
Yeah. Did you get bled on by any devils today? Oh. No, it's just like, and how are you? And she never gets a response.
Yeah.
It's always an open question. Just in case.
It's starting to get dark. I mean, that's almost certainly what presaged people grouping up and heading out. And over the grove itself, you can see the homeward star with its missing pieces and its red locusts inside of it. And you think that Coriander is looking at it.
Oh. And I look down at her, and I look up at that, and I feel a little foolish, so I look around, but then I point up, and I look at Coriander.
Yeah, she looks up and then shakes her head out.
Huh, okay. Is there any change in the constellation?
No, but you don't remember Coriander making note of it.
Interesting. And even though we freed Maleth, there's no change. Well, shit.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it means.
We have to do another season, Rosie. Like, we can't.
All right.
Can't just
good.
do it all at
Only
once.
one more.
And then all the
I'll
answers.
do one more.
One more season. Just
One
answer
more.
this.
Exactly.
Okay, so
This is the Pringle of D&D campaigns.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. You're going to have that one. You'll be like, shit,
I can't stop.
that's pretty good.
Once you pop.
I want to get some more of that.
And I guess Rosie would say what she's embarrassed to be asking the horse questions. But
Now
Yeah.
she's embarrassed to talk to a horse.
no, she's fine when the conversation's one way.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, when it's unidirectional.
Yeah.
It's the conversation.
Yeah.
You were actually listening?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I told you a lot of shit.
Oh shit.
I think she may not ask, but she'd be like, "You've chosen well. That happens to be the constellation that is sort of the most precious to my family. And I'll tell you all about it
On the way back.
on the way back.
After the break.
After we cover, after these messages. After we cover this wedding. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Asmodeus was here. Ugh. Exactly.
Exactly. Brahma is nowhere to be found.
Fine, be like that.
Look, it's not my fault.
It is your fault, though.
No, this is what really happened.
Should we wait?
Rosie
This
gets
is
up on
impossible.
she gets up on the cart in her like driving position, and she looks like not even 45 degrees. She's like, "Oh, I don't see her. We should probably go."
Mama goes, okay.
She'll find her way
Usually,
home.
like, we don't know, right? Donaar doesn't know. Like, so we would think it's weird, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
strange. Yeah. Or I
Rosie,
assumed.
Rosie hates Brahma, so
Yeah, Rosie hates Brahma, but Rosie doesn't know either, or did?
no. I mean, Rosie knows something's wrong.
Yeah.
But-
we none of us know. Okay.
As predicted,
Yeah.
Brahma hurt Walnut again, and so Rosie's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, well,
Oh
she
yeah.
can
when
get her
we're,
own ride
when
home."
we're
Oh,
going-
it's traditional. Yeah, the Walnut comes up and she goes, it's traditional for the hand-fasted to travel home to the wedded bed separately.
You don't want to succumb to temptation on the way.
Yeah.
But you're married.
You can't have babies in carts.
Yeah, that's just gross. It's just unclean.
That's not what I
I've
recall.
done that 4 times. I cannot recommend it.
Donaar says,
Oh, dude, but that's like the plan. It's like we can't get pregnant in the cart. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I've heard. Traveling north or south.
Yep, superstition.
What did she say?
Donaar says, "Oh, I wanted to give this to both of you," and he gives you a little wedding package, like for your wedding, and he gives you a little gift.
So after the wedding?
Yeah,
Oh.
Walnut takes it.
it's
And
just
looks at you.
crudely wrapped.
Walnut looks at you like very suspiciously.
No, it's just very heartfelt congratulations. Is his demeanor 100%?
Can I unwrap it now?
Yeah, I mean, Brahma's not here. Seems weird.
This is traditional.
The unwrapping of the
right.
gifts by yourself.
Yeah.
Solo.
And so she unwraps it. What is it?
It's a little crudely written congratulatory note, and then the platinum AI badge that he took from the home office.
Oh.
Well, since they're looking
Oh,
at
the
it.
upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks at it. And then, no, she's looking at it in this hand. And then she puts a hand on Donaar and she goes, "This is a great gift."
And he says, "Congratulations."
Thanks, big guy. And then she just goes and gets in the cart. But she'll actually, I think she'll sit in the cart.
So right inside?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, she's got that dress on too, so.
She feels ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst. There is no worse feeling than being well dressed and sad.
Ugh.
It is.
But she loves the AI badge and she's like worrying it already.
She's like, it is better than mine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Smelling it.
polished. It's looking real good.
Woofing it up.
Smells like bear a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had it on him the whole time.
Bear
He just gives her the
must.
gift now at the end. So it's like,
Where was he hiding it? He's
cake.
nude.
oh, like way up in his own ass.
Way up the butthole.
Yeah, because like he was fighting, so he was jumping around a lot, so he was in there
Nature's pocket.
like
Can't lose this.
deep. Not when
Yeah.
you're like a foot in. Yeah.
Oh no, the wedding present. Don't want to lose this.
Easy to get.
Partially digested.
Well, there's just a hollow.
Chunk's present.
There's, just
Yeah, right in the bloodstream.
there's a hollow there. The gift goes right in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are we doing a story,
Oh, sure.
or I mean, you can do it either way. I mean, it's your choice. They're both good.
I think that we should get home as soon as possible, so I will cartographer us.
The cartograph.
Yeah. And
Any high points?
I
the journey?
think
Oh, it's
that,
a musical number.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You've been waiting for the musical episode.
so glad
Shadow
you
Council.
asked. Rosie, definitely, I think she's seen Walnut talking to the birds a lot, but has not picked up on the dynamic that Walnut hates the birds.
Okay.
So the trip, she was like, I know what'll cheer her up. And
Oh my God.
so she tells Coriander the story about how they come to the cart, to the window, and they sing nonstop to you. Yep, they Melissa Etheridge right up to this cart.
They come
They
to her window.
And they accompany us with nonstop stream of beautiful song
Really?
the entire ride home, because she knows that you love them so much, and they seem to be very close friends.
Important to you. Yeah.
And she's very proud of herself for what is certainly going to make Walnut extremely happy by the time we get home.
Well, that looks like she hasn't slept in a week by the time we get home.
It's like whatever whatever the polar opposite of a Disney princess is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
A DreamWorks princess.
Yeah.
It's because truth is like, I have made the extended version of all 5 of the songs that
Yeah,
I've written
exactly.
for you.
The dance remix.
Yes. So it's like songs about your wedding.
It's a 2-day
By
journey.
this stupid bird.
Right. We take the long way back.
Yeah.
We don't want to miss a note.
That's awful. But we make it home safely.
See, you make it home safely, and there are decorations on the front of the drawn courtier.
Will the stay never end?
Like wedding-y?
Oh, yes.
Oh boy. Oh
Yes.
boy.
There's a little bell hanging from the front door so that every time the door is opened, there's a jaunty ring. But the decor is mostly like fall leaf wreaths, and it's the sort of thing that still looks good this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like a seasonal choice. Probably nothing to do
Oh yeah.
today's events.
Yeah.
No, there's a case to be made that it's just fall.
It's just fall, baby. Nothing to worry about here.
That
They do this
pumpkin
every
spice
year.
latte.
Yeah. Let's go inside.
I can't take life in this dress anymore, so I just go inside.
I thought you were going to wild shape out of it.
I was thinking about
rip it to pieces.
Actually, you know what? No.
Oh.
No, I turn into the tiniest little breeze.
Yay!
So as you come in, Prophet says, Walnut and Walnut.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah,
Happy
exactly.
anniversary.
It's like on this day.
Oh,
On this day, a great welcome.
Are you
thank
pleased?
you.
She's
No.
into it.
She's okay.
Like Prophet is as excited as she gets about things.
I go, thank you. Thank you. Walnut's really trying really hard. She's like, thank you.
Yeah, and Auspicia is like looks at her mom, who is not getting it,
Yeah.
like not absorbing the subtext, and then looks over at you, and just in her eyes there's a question, but then she's just like,
Rosie's behind Walnut and is shaking her head like this at Profa.
When I see
and
Auspicia give a look,
Yeah.
like any kind of look, Walnut just goes, it's tradition that you come home separately. And she goes and she stomps up to her room to change.
but in the dress.
Yeah, she like lifts the dress up and just like stomps upstairs. And you just hear her yelling about traditions.
Beautiful. It's like it's a real Fiddler on the Roof situation up there.
These traditions are real.
Woo!
Right. So, as you get up, as you find your way up after a tasteful period.
Is she throwing my stuff out on the lawn?
After a tasteful period of time, after you have gone up the stairs and gone in, there is a gentle knock on the door.
Okay. I open it. I expect it to be Brahma, so I'm like really like getting all ready to go here.
If you'd be so kind.
It's the birds. They're stacked on top of each other in a trench coat.
It's
We are Brandon.
it's auspicious.
Oh. I go, Auspicia, what can I do for you?
She says, "What can I do for you?"
Would you come in?
Yeah. She'll ease in, she's too afraid to open the door very much, like she's respecting the door, and so she slips in and closes it, and she says, "I got sick a little while ago, but I'm okay now. But I learned a trick."
What's that?
She takes off her earring
Yeah.
and puts it in her pocket, and she says, "I know how people feel.
Oh.
So if you didn't want to talk about it, but you still wanted to talk about it, I could do that for you."
Well, it says, that sounds like exactly the type of thing that I want.
She hugs you.
Well, it's stiffer first,
Yeah.
and then looks around and realizes that there's no one to see her,
Yeah.
and will actually hug
But
her.
you feel that, you feel her mother's strength. And she just pats your back and draws you into an embrace. And you can tell us, you can unburden yourself as much as you want to.
So
Because you don't have to, she doesn't have to say anything. She can just feel the feelings. It's like a antidote.
Walnut says in her, like, I'm assuming this is like an inner speech.
Exactly. Just a communication. It can be images, feelings. You can have it in its entirety.
So there's this feeling about this ritual and this excitement about Malith and this sense of purpose And then this fear about the ritual when it comes to Brahma, and then this acceptance of the ritual when it comes to Maleth, but then this continual apprehension, and then it's all culminating, these two things, and they crash into each other at the moment of the actual, joining together. And then when they pull apart, all that's left is confusion and hurt and upset and guilt.
The pressure of the hug increases 1 standard deviation on the international hug scale. And she says, we need tea. And then she withdraws and puts a hand on your shoulder. She says, I'll be right back. Thank you. So, yeah, I know. There's a lot of emotional labor in this episode. Now, is there any other tasks or things that you want to resolve before the end of the season? Because I have got some cauldron tips. I can make your ship pop.
Pop it off, baby.
Yeah, maybe
Let's see what happens.
Does Walnut come back down?
Yeah, I can come back down to get tea. So we're all together. At this, the end of the season. At this, the day of your daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, can you ask Rosie for favors?
Yeah, you can.
I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you going to do?
No, I was
Yeah, come get it.
made more and more sense in the car. I wanted to just do a little flavor thing with Donaar and Walnut.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, he takes Walnut aside and he just says, I turned into a bear, but I didn't want to turn into a bear.
Oh,
I wasn't trying to turn into a bear.
okay.
I wanted to know if you would give me bear lessons.
Okay. Well, turning into a bear is something that I know a little bit about. And if you wanted to be more in tune with the bear, we could do that. The woods might be a good place to do that.
Ugh.
Maybe not here.
He's like, already regretting asking. Like,
Okay,
Sounds like
you
work.
asked. Lesson number 1, bears love nature.
all right.
He already hates it.
He's like, all right, bear equaled nature.
Maybe it'll get better.
Yeah. I can't just immediately have the thing. He's like when he learned to cook, he was like,
I'm not good at it right away.
yeah, I'm not good. I'm not great at this immediately. Like, no, I asked for this. I'm a big boy.
Well, he was also realized that if he learned to cook, then he
Yeah.
couldn't make other people cook for him.
Yeah.
We will fish.
Oh yeah, that kid, that Rod.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
I got that unfinished
Golden
quest. I gotta get that gold fish.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah.
We can do that. We can go get that.
Yeah, we got a couple more minutes left.
That's
I
all?
find that kid.
Oh no! Save it for season 3. All of season 3.
I turn in
The quest for the
fishing.
golden fish.
Fishing.
quest
Over
for
and
the
over.
goldfish in bear form.
Yeah.
But yeah, he says, all right, yeah, just let me know. Is this going to take like a day or
Well, typically in winter,
I have to hibernate?
Well, no.
No.
I guess
That sounds awesome. Yeah. He gets disappointed. Like, oh man. All right.
So while this is happening, Prafa takes you aside, Walnut, and if you'd be so kind.
Mid lesson.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm like, what?
Exactly. Prafa says, "Oh, you did get a package from Omen. I don't know if it's a present. I don't know. It could be a gift. It could be a wedding thing. I don't.
the first, real smile of the day is now on her face. Yes. And she goes, where? Show it to me.
Okay. gets it out.
Kid on Christmas morning.
It's wrapped up.
Yeah.
She rips through the paper.
You tear it open, and you can see the Acquisitions Incorporated seal placed on the surface of it. And as you open it up, there is a letter in handwriting you recognize.
Yeah.
And it says, "Be careful what you wish for." And on the inside, just underneath it, is a Decisionist's coin that says Walnut Dawngrass. Decisionist, level 1.
What? Wait, what?
That's the end of the season.
Wait, what?
Thank you so much.
Oh
Thank you so much, Shadow Council. It has been an absolute pleasure to spend a fully a second season with you. I can't believe how much it's improved my life, knowing that you're out there and knowing that the story that we're trying to make together has such a soft landing with y'all. Thank you so much.
I love this table.
Yeah,
very, very much.
it's the best table. Hey,
the best.
so we're gonna jump out real quick, and then we're gonna come back for some table talk. Don't go nowhere.